Welcome everyone to the Reading Writing Corner. I am your host Leanne, and I want to welcome to the non-spoiler part of the review for Chill Affair by Kay Hooper. Now, if you've been here before, you know the drill. Sit down and let's talk. And if you're your first time here, pull up a seat and sit down gently. And welcome to this review. Okay, so this is part of a series called the Bishop / Special Crimes Unit. This is actually the 8th one in the series out of 20 so far. Who knows if there's going to be more. But the thing about it is that it's also part of the Fear trilogy, which is 2 of 4. 3. So, there you go. Now, another series. The Special Crimes Unit is a group. That's supposed to say group. I don't know how to write a review. Now, about the series. The Special Crimes Unit is a group of mediums, psychics, and those with special abilities to solve crimes that would have otherwise been unsolvable. What made me read this book? I liked the title, so I thrifted it. Sound interesting. Of course, the back helped, which is 420. There's actually 2 backgrounds. So, the first one, the one I have, FBI Quentin Hayes always knew he had an unusual talent, even before he was recruited by Noah Bishop for the controversial Special Crimes Unit. But, as gifted as he is, for 20 years he's been haunted by a heartbreaking unsolved murder that took place at The Lodge, a secluded Victorian-era resort in Tennessee. Now, he's returned one final time, determined to put the mystery to rest. Diana Briscoe has come here hoping to unlock the mystery of her troubled past. Instead, she's assailed by nightmares and the vision of a child who vanished from the lodge years ago. And an FBI agent is trying to convince her that she isn't crazy, but that she has a rare gift, a gift that could catch a killer. Quentin knows that this is his last chance to solve a case that has become a dangerous obsession. But can he persuade Diana to help him, knowing what it could cost her? For something cold and dark and pure evil is stalking the grounds of the lodge. Something Diana may not survive. Something Quentin never felt before. The chill of fear. So, that was that one. The blurb on the back says, for 20 years, FBI agent Quentin Hayes has been haunted by an unsolved murder that took place at a secluded Victorian-era resort in Tennessee when he was little more than a boy. Now part of Noah Bishop's Special Crimes Unit, he's returned to the scene of that long-ago crime to find answers. Diana Briscoe has come to the lodge, hoping to unlock the mysteries of her own troubled past. Instead, she is assailed by nightmares and the disturbing visions of children who vanished from the resort years before. And an FBI agent is trying to convince her that she isn't crazy, but that she has a rare gift, a gift that could catch the coldest killer of all. So, slightly different. But still. Now, what I want to do for the non-spoiler part of my review is say this. Quentin has a case that has haunted him since he was a young boy. He is determined to solve it. Diana has always thought she was sick and needed medicine to help her, but she's not sick. And everything that she is trying to reveal itself to her in the only way it can. Can she finally understand who she is, or will she forever run from it? Will Quentin finally solve his case, or will the villain take more lives? That's what I would put on the blurb for the back. Maybe more detailed than that, depending on how it goes. But that's the gist of what I felt was the book. So the setup of this starts in 2 separate flashbacks to show first the unsolved case that Quentin is obsessed with, and to give us readers details about Quentin in order to understand him and Diana better. Well, yeah, to understand better what's going on. We learn that Quentin is motivated to solve the case because of a little girl, and Diana is motivated to become healthy because she feels she is sick. The characters react to this situation in the way I imagine I would if I had found out about having special powers and being able to speak to ghosts in certain ways. The genre is considered to be psychic suspense, psychic mystery, and I would put romance in here because romance does happen, but it's like an afterthought romance, not really the main scope or theme of the book. Did this live up to my expectations? Yes. Way more than I thought it would. Which character did I relate to the most? Diana. We share something in common. Which secondary character stood out the most? Madison Sims. She's a little girl and something odd seems to be happening around her. Because she was so odd just to be randomly put in there. So what was more important? The characters' plot. The characters and plot go hand in hand with each other, I feel. So, like, they're both important. There are 7 POVs within this story, and it did not affect my reading at all. Should you go and read this story/series? Yes, if you love psychics, mystery, romance, suspense, and ghosts. But I would go read the first one, which is Haunted by Fear. Hunting Fear. And then there's also, of course, since this is the 8th one in the series, you have the Shadows series, the Evil series, and the Thief series available as well. So there's a lot. There's even more than that, but that's what this has so far because that's what she had written out by the time this book came to me. Okay, so in this book, you meet the main characters, side characters, and important recurring characters. You have Quentin Hayes. He's a seer that has his abilities unlocked when Missy disappeared. But Missy told him in the book that he always had it and that it was just heightened when she disappeared, or he became aware of it, which is basically the same thing in my book. He has been trying to solve her murder for the longest time, 25 years now. Diana Briscoe is a medium that was locked away by medicine. Her abilities were trying to come out, and thus she blacked out a lot. Spirits and ghosts and everything were trying to gain her attention to help them out, and she was just heavily medicated that she couldn't comprehend any of it. Her mother was a medium as well. She died because she had been trying to do something and got lost in the gray area, which is where your mind gets cast to, and your body stays in the physical realm, and then you're just there, and you don't have a mind within your physical body anymore. Madison Sims, she's actually a ghost girl that died at the lodge along with her dog. She acted like she didn't know she was dead to the readers. It was really weird because at first she was like, oh yeah, talking to her parents and everything, and going off wandering around the lodge, doing as her parents say, and then, speaking to who were ghosts that were children that only she could see. And then in the end she's like, oh yeah, tell my brother that it's not his fault that I died. How long have you been dead? And you know what? Wait, what? Okay, yeah. Missy Turner is actually Diana's sister who was kidnapped by Laura Turner because Turner's child died, and she kidnapped Missy to replace her. She died young at the lodge. The official killer was Laura, but it was because of the evil that was at the lodge that she actually died. Nathan McDaniel is the lieutenant of the Leisure Police Department, who's sort of friends with Quentin because he keeps seeing Quentin coming around all the time. Noah Bishop, the man that put the special crimes unit together. He actually recruited Quentin after rescuing a missing girl from the lodge to show him what psychic powers could do for solving mysteries and crimes. Belinda is actually the little girl that went missing but was found by Bishop, who used his psychic abilities of sense of hearing to hear her and pinpoint her location. Bu Rafferty is a psychic that went to the lodge because Bishop told him that he would be the most help there. He's a famous artist, and he can actually help mediums unlock their abilities and everything, and he actually can dream walk. That's his ability. Dream walk is his ability to pull people into his dreams, walk into other people's dreams and everything. Colin Rupe, the one person that had been at the lodge at the time that Missy died, he suspected that Missy had been kidnapped, had reported it, and nothing ever came of it, so he just left the lodge, but he came back because he felt like it was time for him to return. And he knew a lot about the place. Allie Weeks was a young maid that did the naughties with a guest and got pregnant. She actually was trying to call the guys. They're like, yo, look, I'm pregnant. I need you to support me because I'm about to lose my job and I can't support myself and a kid. She was killed by the ghostly evil thing that's haunting the lodge. since it was built. Rebecca Becca Morse. She was a ghost girl that knew she died and was trying to save Madison's soul and those at the lodge. Telling her that this door with a green door inside of it was a safe room. Ransom had he was a maintenance man that went up in the attic to do some maintenance, and he got scared because of something in the attic. We don't know if it was an evil spirit or if it was the ghost children trying to scare him away or not. Jeremy Grant was a little ghost boy that wanted to leave the lodge, thus he showed Diana where his body was buried so he could finally be at peace, at rest. Stephanie Boyd, manager at the lodge. She helps the police with their investigation because she doesn't want to hinder, but her boss wants her to make sure certain things don't get found out, like the fact that they did not do a lot of bookkeeping correctly and money passing through silently and everything. Samuel Barton is a murderer that was killed by the people who built the lodge. He became a ghostly evil thing that possessed people to commit more murder. He gets sucked into the gray place to remove him from the physical world and make it to where he can never return. Now, spoiler upon spoiler, okay? The murderer for a lot of the murders that happened at the lodge that wasn't done by grieving family members or anything like that was Mrs. Virginia Kincaid. She was a medium that didn't know she was one, and she was used the most by Samuel being possessed and killed because of him. She died. So basically she'd been at the lodge forever, so she was the one mostly used for killing people. I would assume that she actually killed Ellie Weeks, though I can't say for sure because they never did tell you who actually murders her, because she does die. She gets murdered so hard. There are several POVs within this story. Those are Ellie Weeks, Stephanie Boyd, Diana Briscoe, Quentin Hayes, Ransom Padgett, Madison Sims, and Missy Turner. My favorite character was Diana because she acted the way a person learning something that goes against everything they ever believed in and had to come around to the truth. Because she didn't believe in gods. She didn't believe in the afterlife. She didn't believe in ghosts or psychic powers, and all of it turned out to be, true. And so she had to switch her whole viewpoint around. My most disliked character was Samuel Barton. He was a true killer that still killed even in death. It was told in chronological order with 2 flashbacks in the beginning to set up the story. It had appropriate language for the type of novel that it is. Foreshadowing of things to come, a terror shown from it was well done. I like the foreshadowing that was done with approaching evil. Like in some cases for it, like in the beginning or other places, it would be like the-thum, the-thum, the-thum. It was coming. The-thum, the-thum, the-thum. Oh no, it's here. Things like that. Like hide, it's coming. So, it's done in several places within it. And it's really, really good. And it could, I guess, go with suspense too. But it was like foreshadowing bad things to come. So the suspense of whether or not Diana will be murdered or possessed by evil was heart-pounding, man. Because you knew the evil was coming for her. And that if she did not do what she needed to do, if Quentin did not get where he needed to get in order to help save her, she would have been lost. The background is given for each character to be able to understand them, as well as information on the lodge. The title of the book means chills of fear were being felt by all those affected mediums. When they stepped into the gray area, became chilled, which means they were cold to the touch. The cover of the book shows the lodge circled by frost and cobwebs. So that's what my book has. So what stood out as memorable was the way Quentin knew something was different about Diana the first time he met her, and the fact that Diana drew him accurately before ever meeting him. Fate played out the way he was meant to play. My favorite passage from the story is, Diana didn't need to understand herself. She needed to understand her abilities and accept them as natural and normal for her. Because she at first denied it and thought that she was just weird and terrifying and that she had blackouts and that made her do things that she wasn't supposed to do. And medication was the way that was supposed to go. My favorite quote, I know we will. And suddenly, it was true. Quentin knew without a doubt that they would find something in this old barn, something important. So sometimes when Quentin said certain things or did certain things, he would just know. At one point, he actually gets a vision and he sees the future for the first time instead of just, knowing. Because he knew Bishop would find Melinda. He just knew, he knows where his car keys are if he loses them. He knows when this is going to happen. He knows to, prepare for rain if it's going to rain one day. But he had never actually seen the future until this book. Till he was at the lodge. What I thought about the end of the book, it was so good. I was so happy that the mystery was solved, that Missy got her closure along with Diana and Quentin, and that Diana and Quentin end up as a couple, because the tension could be read so well. Even though they were fighting for other things and doing other things and their minds were preoccupied, they had a lot of good tension in there. What book did it remind me of? Scent of Roses by Kate Martin, but done way better, in my opinion. This book is way better. Way better. Yeah, this book, as you know, is part of several serial series. The first series is called The Bishop Special Crimes Unit, which is 20 books in total. This is, of course, book number 8. The second series is the Fear Trilogy, which has 3 books in it, and this is the second book in it, which I need to go read this first book, and the first book of the actual Bishop Special Crimes Unit. I need to get on that. I do believe I have 2 other Bishop books, but they are both from 2 different series as well. So, sadness there. I rate this a 5 because it sucked me in and I couldn't stop reading it. I couldn't put it down. I flew through it within a couple of days. I couldn't put it down. It was so good. So, I will see you next illusion.